nell'anno 1503, 1504,
By the years 1503, 04, and 05, Leonardo was now over 50. He had lived for a period of time in Florence, another period of time in Milan, and then there was his adventure in Venice. Now he returns to Florence. By now he was a tremendously experienced painter. He had done The Last Supper, The Virgin of the Rocks, and he surely was already thinking about another work he wanted to paint. Not a very large one, not a grand theme, but a work in which he could truly define what painting was about, what it meant to paint, and how to represent nature and this real world we all live in. And so he created this portrait of the third wife of a man named Francesco del Giocondo, hence the name La Gioconda. Leonardo had written several things. The main one was, "The light which satisfies me most is the light at dusk. When you walk along the streets of Florence at twilight, look at the people beneath that light. Look at how their contours fade and how they begin to reveal more of their inner selves." And so, this portrait is bathed in the semi-darkness of that sunset hour. The light falls from high above. First, just a bit of light, just a bit, on her forehead, on her breast, and it diminishes ever so slightly until reaching her two hands. The mountain landscape behind her, the same landscape as always, has also grown darker. At the foot of the mountains, we can just barely make out a lake and a river, but the high peaks are still standing tall. This is the portrait, yes, of a real person. Of course she is real, but more than a portrait of someone, it is the illustration of a theory of art. Leonardo wrote, "When you walk along the streets at dusk, when the weather is bad, look carefully at the faces of the men and women. There is a grace and tenderness to them. Can't you see that of the different forms of human beauty, a lovely face is what always makes people stop and take notice, and not rich adornments? Haven't you ever noticed that it is the women from the mountains, so modestly and humbly dressed, who seem so much more beautiful than women who are adorned with jewels?" All the senses compete with the eye to enjoy her beauty. The mouth seems to want to absorb her by tasting her. The ear takes pleasure in listening to her beautiful sounds. The senses of touch wanted to penetrate their every pore, and the nose would wish to breathe in the very air she exhales. My dear Vittorio, this road we have just seen is the most ancient road in Tuscany. Imagine the Romans refer to it as the ancient road, the Vetus road, since it is of Etruscan origin. Unlike the Cassia road, which leads directly to Rome, this road traverses and connects all the towns of Etruria, the most important of which is Arezzo, then Fiesole. Then the road arches following the valley of the river Arno. This landscape is very similar to what Leonardo must have looked out on when he painted it from the top of a hill, which may have been that one right over there. If you look closely at the Mona Lisa, at the right side of the painting, there is a river that turns and flows down through a bridge with 5 arches. This is because one was buried and the others were discovered later. He also created an ideal landscape, a landscape which intrigued and fascinated him. And he reproduced the valley, which we will see later. In this valley, which was a lake a very long time ago, columns of sand compacted with rocks, eroded in what was once the bottom of the lake. Leonardo drew this riverbed with a bridge and connected it with this other landscape, even though in reality they are separated by about 20 kilometers. For Leonardo, this was relatively easy because he had a geographical imagination and was capable of visualizing landscapes as if he was flying over them in an aeroplane.